What's up, everybody? This is Unstoppable Friday. Unstoppable Friday is a different format in my channel where I take you behind the scenes of a SaaS business that myself and my co-founder are taking from 0 to a million ARR. We're going to be taking you behind the scenes to show you how we apply all the principles that I talk about on this channel into a real life SaaS business. You get a view into the behind the scenes of it all. So we are now on episode 8. It's kind of crazy that we're already at episode 8. We've covered so much. If you want to see the prior episodes, if this is your first one, don't worry, you don't have to start from the beginning, but I will link to it below. We have a playlist, so you can binge the whole thing if you like this episode. If you're new to our channel, every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday on this channel, I help SaaS founders like you navigate to the next stage of growth. So if you're new, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. If you're already part of our community, welcome back. Really great to have you here. On this Unstoppable Friday, I'm going to be talking about something crazy that happened. A friend of mine messaged me about Unstoppable. He's an old friend of mine. He's seen me through the Tout app journey and the Marketo journey, and he saw Unstoppable, so he's been following. He messaged me out of nowhere, and he said something to me. And because he said something to me about Unstoppable, and I really value his feedback, I'm like, I wonder what that means. So because we're insane about tracking our product metrics, we have our spreadsheet, which I cover every episode. We also have Mixpanel that we use to track deeper metrics. I dug into it. I dug into the deeper metrics, and my mind was blown. And so then I ran a test to see how, based on the new learnings, if we can apply that to drive more growth, and it worked. And that's that insane thing that blew my mind. You'll never guess what happened, is what I'm going to dig into in this episode. So first, some context. The SaaS business that we're building out is called UnstableSunday.com. Unstoppable Sunday is a SaaS application. It comes with training that helps you plan your week and go into every Monday with an unstoppable mindset. If you want to try it out, a lot of founders really love it because it helps them really go into the week with a plan. Go to UnstableSunday.com and you can sign up for it and start your free trial. So that's the background. And so the whole point of the app is you kind of sign up and you go into it, and then you practice this method that helps you plan your week. And then that way you're kind of ready for the week. You're not having the Sunday anxiety. That's how this whole thing works. So my friend messages me, and you can see like his original message right here. He was like, "Hey TK, love what you're doing with Unstoppable stuff, personal feedback case. Sundays are the day I take away from work, so the whole Sunday focus is huge mismatch for me. Perhaps others face this also. Hope this feedback helps." And I looked at that. I'm like, I think he's got a point. And I have something to admit, because we launch an episode on Sunday, and because I run a group coaching call for people who are part of my Unstoppable Founder Mindset program on Sunday, I don't practice Unstoppable Sunday on Sunday. I do it on Saturday, or I do it on Monday, because Sundays are a work day for me. And so I read that, and I'm like, it's always bothered me that I have to do it on a different day because I'm serving the people on Sunday, so I can't do it for myself. But it resonated with me. I'm like, I get it. And so I was like, that's interesting. So let me dig into it. And you can read ahead on this. But so I dug into it, and we track Mixpanel. We use Mixpanel to track our daily metrics across a bunch of stuff. We look at how many people loaded the app, how many people watched a Sunday training video, how many people practiced Sunday, that means they wrote stuff in it, how many people logged in, signed up, canceled, logged out. So we track all of this in Mixpanel because that's just one more area we can track all these things. So I looked at the last 45 days of stats. And by the way, in prior episodes, I've talked about how we activate users, how we're adding lifecycle emails, how we text them. And I looked at the data, and what you see over here, this is a little hard to parse, but you'll kind of understand, is the little red circles are how many people logged in and practiced Sunday on a Monday. And the peaks, the obvious peaks, are when they logged in on a Sunday. So Sundays clearly are the highest, where we get the most, but Mondays are the second highest by far. And so over here, it's it's barely no one, but over here we had more people on Monday than on a Sunday. And this was probably because we promoted something on a Monday saying, hey, plan your week, even though it's Monday already. This one we had it was off by 1, but we had just as many people on a Monday. These are small numbers still. So, and over here, not as many people on a Monday, but that tells me we didn't remind them, otherwise they would have done it. When I looked at the data, I was blown away. I was like, people are using the app on Monday just as much. And I bet he's got something accurate here, in that the Sunday thing might be a turnoff for actually a majority of people, more people. And so I said, okay, this is interesting. This tells me a lot about like even my own behavior. And so I said, you know what, let's go test this. So then I went in, this will give away the answer a little bit, but I looked at our homepage and I'm like, all right, let's run a test on our homepage. This was essentially, let me just get the different pen here. This was the A, the original, and this was the B, right? And so you'll notice like it's very similar, but I changed around the words. Over here I said Unstoppable Sunday is a 30-minute weekly planning practice. Plan your week and go into Monday with an unstoppable mindset. And I forgot to change this. I kept this as Sunday. It says Unstoppable Sunday over here. I call it Unstoppable Sunday. And in the B, I said the Unstoppable Method is a 30-minute weekly planning exercise. Plan your week and go into each week, not necessarily Monday, but each week, and you decide when that is, with an unstoppable mindset. And I ran this test and I literally just changed the headlines, but I didn't change, I honestly forgot. I forgot to change this Sunday. This should have said like to practice the unstoppable method, but I forgot to change it. But this page, which already we've been tweaking over the last few weeks, got to a 33% conversion rate when we started to position this on Monday and an unstoppable mindset and plan your week. But as soon as I changed it to the method and I said each week, and I didn't care about what day you practice it, it went to a 50% conversion rate on the landing page. Now, this is focused on a limited number of days because I ran this test. I got this message on Thursday and I ran the test over the weekend and we promoted on Sunday and Monday, and it just like, boom, this one just, and we ran an A/B test, 50-50 traffic, and boom, this one just 50% conversion rate, which is actually like really awesome. Like most of my landing pages for Unstoppable SaaS, the GTM program goes at like 60 to 80% conversion rate. Life has been lagging. We've had actually like 8%, 10%, and we've been chipping away at it, and it's gotten to this 35, but this just like put it across the line. So anyway, first of all, I want to share 3 things around this. Like if there's 3 things that first of all, this is insane. And if you think this is insane and you like with me and you're getting value from this, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Now, like if I were to distill like, all right, what have we learned from this? Like, first of all, it's kind of insane. The first lesson that I want you to take away from this is market decides. This is a lesson that I learned the hard way through past startups that didn't work out. But like, don't fall in love with your product. Don't fall in love with your idea. Your idea is purely an opening thesis. You need to put it out in the market. This is why in my SaaS go-to-market program, I teach founders to build a go-to-market machine as they're building their product. In later stages of SaaS businesses, I teach them how to build go-to-market machines because that's the only way you'll know you're getting to product market fit and drive growth. And so the market decides. The market decides what is worth it and what is not. You are just there to capture it. And so I was like a baby TK would be like, no, it's got to be Sunday. I'm going to teach them how Sunday is so much better. The reality is there's very little convincing that goes on in sales and marketing and startups. What you need to do is just figure out what the market really wants, what's an urgent, important problem, and just solve it for them and see if they are willing to do it. And so like there is no ego here. And I'm like, you know what? I've called it Unstoppable Sunday forever. I wrote a whole book on it. Certain number of people like that, but more people seem to like just plan your week and they can practice their unstoppable any day they want to plan their week and they can pick when it decides. I'm not going to have ego on this. I'm going to let the market decide, and I'm just going to follow this to make sure that this is a proper idea. Because what do I care? What I care about is people are planning their weeks. What I care is they're using our method. What I care is they're using our software. And when you look at the stats, the rest of the week are all dead. But Sundays and Mondays are hot. And I'm like, well, if I just take away what day they decide, I dictate to them that they do it, but they just plan their weeks and I'm delivering their value and people live more productive lives and they're more proactive about their life and they're successful with their goals. Does that hit my vision? Yes. So I'm going to let the market decide on whether they want to do it on a Sunday, Saturday, Friday, or Monday. I don't care. We'll be a little opinionated. We'll let them pick on between the weekends or something like that, but we don't care about that. What we care about is we give them the result, right? So the first thing is like, this is a lesson I learned the hard way from prior startups where I was too stubborn. I said, look, just listen to the market. Now, it could have been that this was a 0%, this B test. And I would have known like, well, this is not worth pursuing. Like maybe no one wants this. But what I know is that this went up, more people signed up. So I'm like, all right, this is good. We'll have to check our activation metrics. We'll have to let this test run for a little bit longer. So the thing is the market decides. The second thing is be boring. And let me explain on this. Be boring is that you might have seen, if you've been following the last few episodes, this is not like exciting work. I mean, this is kind of cool, all right? But this is kind of boring work. All we're doing every week is looking at the data, and then we are tweaking the product. Looking at the data, tweaking the product, and putting it out there. We're running a go-to-market machine. We're running an unstoppable sales funnel. And then people are messaging us, either signing up or messaging us. In fact, signups are up. And people are messaging us, and they're giving us feedback like this. And we're looking at the data. And this is boring. It's not exciting. No movie is ever going to chronicle this. But this is what it takes to do that Shawshank crawl to product market fit. Because I know this is a big business here. I know my macro trends are right. I know my ICP is tight. I know that our method has been proven. That's why people love the book. That's why people show up on my Sunday calls. I know that there's something here. I know that the numbers are continuing to go up in terms of our unstoppable sales funnel and the leads that are coming in. I know all of that. So I know there's something here. So I just have to be boring and just keep looking at the data, tweaking, looking at the data, tweaking, looking at the data, tweaking. Even for me, for someone that's been in the SaaS business for 15 years, even for me, when it's a new market, when it's a new paradigm, like the rules are the same. Like I have no unique advantage here beyond the fact that I have a lot of SaaS experience. But I purposely picked a B2C SaaS business because they're that much harder and I've never done them. And I'm like, let me apply all the principles that I do for a B2B SaaS startup and see if it works with B2C. And that's what we're doing. And we're starting to see positive results. So the first one is market decides. The second one is be boring. And then the third one is take decisive action. Steven and I talk every week, and in our next call, we're going to look at this and we're going to be like, all right, what do we do about this? This is not something where we hem and haw on. We collect more data and we say, all right, what does this mean for the business? How do we reorient this? What do we change about our unstoppable sales funnel? Do we change our manifesto? And how do we test this? And how do we look at the numbers? But we need to take decisive action because our goal is to drive this to $1 million ARR as fast as possible. And so that's what we'll be doing. So those are the three things. This is where the product, having core product metrics is super important. We teach you this inside of SaaS Go-to-Market School. This is why having an unstoppable sales funnel with people discovering your product as early in the process as possible is super helpful because then you get real feedback. That's what we teach in the Go-to-Market School. And this is why being disciplined about this process of navigating product market fit is also super, super important. That's all I have for you today, that crazy story. I'll keep you guys posted in future episodes on how this all comes together, what decisive action we take, how do we navigate to product market fit and revenues and 1 million ARR. So I do this every Friday. Every Sunday and Wednesday, I also launch episodes under a different format where I give you principles on how to drive growth for your SaaS business. If you are operating a SaaS business, be sure to check out my 5-point startup strategy guide. In the guide, I go into much more details on how to build a one-page strategy to grow your SaaS business, regardless of what stage you're in right now. Also, if you want to work with me, I do have room for additional founders this month to join my SaaS Go-to-Market program. That's when we help you build out your go-to-market machine to actually get more customer validation, more leads, drive revenue growth, and it works for anyone between 0 to 10 million ARR. That's for early stage founders. You can learn more about that at tkkader.com/GTM. All of these links and resources that I talked about are below in the description. For the go-to-market program, tkkader.com/GTM, just go there. For the startup strategy guide, go to getunstoppable.com/strategy. And lastly, if you want to practice the unstoppable method to go into your week with a plan, I'm testing out the new messaging, go to unstoppablesunday.com. And I guess now we'll have to find a new domain if we take decisive action on this. So that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. If you're new and you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe button and that bell icon so you get notified every single time I drop an episode like this. If you have a friend that would get value from this episode, a SaaS founder, please share it with them. It will mean the world to me and my team. I want to thank you guys for joining. I'll see you in the next episode. Oh, also remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business, but when you are with us, yours is going to be unstoppable. I'm TK, and I'll see you in the next episode.